So afternoon, everyone. My name's Geraldine and I'm a Graduate Development Officer and I work on the Venture Graduate Scheme. I have a lovely role in that my job is to find graduate jobs with businesses in the southeast area of Wales. Just before I start going into the detail of the presentation, just to let you know, I doubt very much we'll be here for the full hour. I just want to run through the presentation, give you as much detail as I can. And then obviously we'll have a Q&A session, as Lisa said. But, you know, as I said to Lisa, I'm not here about flogging a dead horse. If we're done before the full hour, I'm sure everyone will appreciate a bit of time back in their very busy lives. So thanks for joining. I really appreciate that. So I'll just move on. So Venture graduates, I'm here to introduce the Venture Graduate Scheme and explain what it is and what we're trying to achieve. So for those of you that don't know, the Venture Graduate Scheme is part of the Cardiff Capital Region. And again, just to explain for those that aren't aware of it, Cardiff Capital Region is a partnership between the UK government, the Welsh government, and made up of the 10 local authorities in Southeast Wales. And the aim of that is to bring about significant economic growth in the region through investment, upskilling, and improved physical and digital connectivity. And in summary of that, what we're trying to do is make this a really nice, attractive place for people to come and live and work in. It's already a beautiful part of the world to live in, and we're trying to raise awareness of the opportunities that are here and raise awareness of what Cardiff Capital Region are trying to achieve as well. So Venture Graduates was previously known as Cardiff Capital Graduate Scheme, but we decided that the name was a bit of a mouthful. Our website wasn't attractive enough for the graduates and the businesses, so we rebranded last year into Venture Graduates. So our mission statement as part of Cardiff Capital Region is to be the go-to graduate programme for businesses within the Cardiff Capital Region by offering an expert, no-cost, end-to-end recruitment service and graduate accelerated learning programme. So what do we mean by that? We want businesses to talk to one another and say, where did you get that graduate from? I got that graduate from Venture Graduates. There was no cost attached to it. The process was quick and the graduate has been fab on the programme. And I'll talk to you about the accelerated learning programme as part of the graduate offer a bit further on. So getting straight into the process and how it works for businesses. So my role as a graduate development officer is I focus on business engagement. So my job is to do things like this, meet with businesses individually, work with organisations like FinTech, Manufacturing Wales, creative industry, trying to get forums up and running. So raising awareness of the businesses. So we're generating ongoing employment opportunities. So we're constantly working with businesses to ask and find out what you're looking for, what you need. Can we help you putting a job description together? Lots of opportunities. So we work continuously with employers across the region to establish roles through business attraction and interaction. We're doing lots of virtual events, but now, thank goodness, we're out and about. We've recently run a FinTech event where we've had people in the room, which was absolutely fabulous to be able to do that. Underneath, you can see medtech, fintech, creative, compound semiconductors, data and AI, advanced manufacturing. Most of the businesses fall within these sectors, but if your business doesn't fall within this sector, it doesn't mean we can't work with you. We want to work with every business in the Cardiff Capital Region. Predominantly, we're focusing on working with SMEs because effectively we do the HR side of things for the businesses. And I'll move on to that now. So what we do for you, we have a discussion about generating your employment opportunities. So you might come to us and say, I have a role, or I think, yeah.
Pop in there. We're only seeing the introduction slide. I don't know if you're moving.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Slides there, if you want to go into the slideshow.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I have been sharing slides.
Sorry.
How do I do that? Pardon my ignorance. So
Uh,
I'm just pressing on ongoing.
yeah, probably the easiest one is to press on each one individually and see if that works.
Okay, bear with me then. Has that worked?
We're on the first one, the introduction one there.
Yeah, no, they're moving for me with the arrows and the tabs.
Okay.
Has that worked
Yeah, no, it's just staying on the same.
on the introduction one?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We're going to share the presentation later on anyway, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to come out and retry or?
Yeah, just quick to see if
Let
that
me
works.
try this way. Let me try this
that
way.
moved then. That did move.
Does that work?
Yeah, we've gone on. I think that's number 4 you've gone on to there. It's like,
Oh, there we go. Perfect. There we are. Good. Okay. Well, at least you can see the process now. Okay. So thanks for that, Lisa. So, okay. So as I said, you come to us as employers. I need to hire this person. Can you advise me on salary? I ask questions about where you're based, what type of company you are, what you're looking for. Between us, we come up with a role, which we will then have a job description, which either we can write for you or you have a job description already made. The next process then is we promote your role. So our next bunch of vacancies now will go live on the 18th of July. So if you have a vacancy now, you can contact me after this webinar. We can talk about the role and we can get it live on the 18th of July. What we do, you would send me a job description, say, for example, or even an email with all the details in that you're looking for. We have a content writer within our team who actually then puts together an advert for you. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to turn a job description from a list of roles and responsibilities into an advert that we know is going to be attractive to the graduates who are looking for the job. So where we advertise with our 4 universities who are our strategic partners. So that's USW, Open University, Cardiff Met and Cardiff University. So all the jobs go live on their jobs board. We advertise on graduate web pages. So we advertise on graduate web pages such as GradCracker, where we know the graduates are looking for live roles. And we also advertise on Indeed as well. Now, the Venture Graduate Scheme is about keeping graduates in this area, but it's also about attracting graduates to the area and back to the area. And that's why we've gone down the Indeed route as well. Within our team, so I've mentioned I work on business engagement. I have 3 colleagues within my team, and their role is graduate attraction. So they work 100% of the time working with the universities, going in, speaking to final year students. What are you looking for? What are you expecting? This is the type of role you can expect to see within this region. So we're working constantly with the universities and the graduates and external partners as well to try and make sure that the graduates are looking in this area for opportunities. The jobs go live on the 18th of July, and the jobs are live for a period of 5 weeks. So if you're thinking to yourselves, I have a job, but there's no way I'm going to get it organised by the 18th of July, the jobs are open for 5 weeks. So that's till mid-August. You can come to me, have a chat with me. We can put the job up after the 18th of July, which is absolutely fine. It just means that it won't be live for 5 weeks. But what we're trying to do as part of the application assessment, and as it says there, our rigorous shortlisting process begins immediately. So what we do, we put on the website that the jobs are live for 5 weeks, but after the first week, we start the shortlisting process. And on the website as well, we make a point of saying to the graduates, this is a first come, first served job. We don't want everyone to wait until the night before the deadline to apply for the job. So after the first week, we'll start looking at CVs with each role. And what we'll do for the companies, and this is where our HR involvement comes into it, we'll start looking at the CVs and we'll start rejecting the CVs that don't match your roles and responsibilities. So we're trying to save you time and money in looking at 20 CVs that don't even match your skills and your responsibilities and your tasks that you're looking for those graduates to have. So we'll look at those CVs that we think are good. We will then ask those individual candidates to do some online testing, and that's through a company called Test Gorilla. And what we will do then, so if you've come to us and you're looking for a social media marketer, for example, or a marketing graduate, we'll get them to do tests on communication and content writing and things like that. After that, then we do video interviews with them. So we have a partner company that we work with, and they do a quick 10-minute video interview with the applicants as well, where we say to them, well done, you've got to stage 3 of this process. Your CV was good, your online testing was good. The video interviews are very much about seeing the whites of their eyes. So can they really back up what they've said on their CV? Can they really discuss about the skills you're going to be looking for? And it's also to look at, did they log on time? Have they presented themselves well? You know, is their communication skills good? And also, are there any sort of additional needs that we need to take into account when we hand them over to you for final stage interview? Once we've done all that, we aim to send you the top 3 or 4 CVs and candidates that we will say to you, we think these are a great match for your company, and have a look and have a look to see what you think about them. What we ask is that you interview at least 3 of them, because what we're saying to the candidates is, you've done well, we're sending you off to the employer. And then we ask that, as I say, you interview at least, if we send you 5, we'd like you to interview 3. The final decision is completely up to you. As an employer, you're the ones that make that decision. So we back out at interview stage because it's your company, it's your organization. We have nothing to do with that final statement. If, and I'll come on to this in a bit in terms of benefits, if you interview all 3 candidates and you come back to me and you say, Jerry, I'm not happy with all of those 3 candidates, I don't want to hire any of them, there's no commitment. We go back to look at more CVs and the ball keeps rolling for those 5 weeks. We hope, and we're pretty confident, that after a 5-week recruiting process, we find somebody that you say, yes, please, I want to take that graduate on board. Once you've appointed the graduate will be provided with a tailored development plan, so enjoying ongoing support, which includes events and mentoring opportunities. All that means is we want the graduates to be part of the venture graduate scheme. So we might have 40 graduates all starting in 40 different SMEs throughout South East Wales, which is brilliant. But we want them to know that they're part of a group, and that group is the venture graduate scheme. So what we'll do, after about 2 or 3 weeks, we'll get them out to an induction. Another month, we'll get them out where we have a guest speaker involved. Another month, we'll talk to them about qualifications that we have available for them. And then it'll be really celebrating their employment. All these events, and it sounds a lot, but it's not. We do maybe once a month during the start of their maybe first 6 months of employment with you. The induction is probably 2 hours, say on a Wednesday morning between 9:30 and 11:30, and then they're ready to come back to work with you. So yeah, so all I was saying is everything is business first. So if we said to you, we'd like the graduate to come to an induction on a Wednesday morning, and you said, sorry, Jerry, there's too much priorities going on here, 100% the business comes first. We'll always copy in the line manager as well. But what we're trying to do is sell the graduate a package rather than just a role. So we're trying to, because it's a candidate market, and we know it's a candidate market and there's a skill shortage, we're trying to offer the graduate more than just a role. We're trying to offer them a career path and an opportunity. So moving on. So what's in it for you? So why should you partner with Venture? There's no cost involved in this. There's no recruitment cost. There's no cost involved at all. It's a publicly funded graduate recruitment and development service. So there's no financial commitment to you. The only cost involved to you is the graduate's salary. and that you would do anyway, irrespective. So, you know, I can't emphasize that point enough. If you take on a graduate in the Cardiff capital region, we're delighted. We've got direct access to the graduates for you. So our four universities are strategic partnerships. And I love the fact they're strategic partnerships, because that means they've got to help us. They're part of what we're trying to do. So, you know, we have a representative in each university. If a role isn't getting a high number of good quality applications, we can go to that university. You know, what's the best school? What's the best alumni department? Let me talk to your business engagement party. And it's really it's really important that we have that relationship. Expert service. So the scheme has been going since March 2019. So we're into our third year, and we've changed quite a lot of what we're doing up in that time as well. And I think that's really important to mention. Not that we were doing things wrong in the past, but I think maybe we were focusing on the wrong areas. So I've been involved in this since March 2019. I've seen how the scheme has changed and how things have developed. So, you know, is expert service the right word to use? Probably. It's that difficult one, isn't it? But what I'm trying to emphasize is we've learned from what we haven't done quite right in the past. We've placed 120 graduates to date. And one of the stats that I really like highlighting is 85% of those graduates are still in their roles at the moment. So it means that the companies have taken them on, they've developed them, the graduates have learned, they've developed them, and they're still in their role now. Quite a lot of them have moved up the ladder a little bit. Quite a lot of them are more confident as individuals, or, you know, much better career progression opportunity. Fast and easy to use process. We are fast. You can come to us. So jobs are advertised 18th of July. And as I said earlier, if you said to me, I need someone and I need them as soon as possible, we will start looking at that shortlisting process the week after the 18th of July. We can start sending people over to you by the end of July for you to interview. We use a hiring process called Loxo, and that's our CRM system, if you like. So if candidates apply and they're not the right candidate, they get a really personalized email back, and then we refer them back to their university departments for maybe CV writing experience and things like that. So it's fast and easy for you, and it's fast and easy for the graduates as well. So as I say, we've placed 120 graduates already, which we're delighted about. We have what's called a talent pool. So basically, if you as an employer interview 3 people and you say, I'm keeping on candidate number 1, but candidate number 2 and 3 were great, but they just weren't as good as number 1, we put candidate 2 and 3 into what we call a talent pool. And that talent pool, then, if a company comes to us and say, Jerry, I need someone, I need them now, we will look at that talent pool to see if those candidates are there. They're not candidates that have been rejected, and they're not candidates who weren't good enough for an interview. They were candidates who just missed out on the top spot because somebody else was slightly better than them. So the talent pool is an opportunity. The talent pool is there for a short period, if I'm honest, because if they're in a talent pool, it means they're good. And it also means that they're probably applying for 3 or 4 jobs at the same time as well. So, but it is something that we have and something that we're hoping to grow on. An inclusive service, so constantly recruiting diverse talent from communities for a variety of employers. So our targets are 40% female. We're working with the National Autistic Society in terms of how we can attract more students with additional needs to apply for roles. We're working with Quarateg, working with a number of organisations. We have our own diversity and inclusion policy as part of this scheme. And again, this is something we're working on. Cardiff Capital Region Business New Community, so networking opportunities and mentoring through Global Welsh. So as an employer, if you come on board and have a look at our website, if you come on board and you take a graduate on board with us, we would be delighted to run a series of case studies with you. So you would have a case study that is shared on the Cardiff Capital Region website that people can see where your company is, what your company does, and you've taken on this graduate. It's great in terms of PR and marketing for yourselves, but it's also great in terms of someone else might look and go, they hired a graduate through us. I must have a look to see if they can help us. So just quickly looking at the why should graduates use venture. So there is a skill shortage and it is a candidate market, and it's hard to fill these roles. And as I said earlier on, we're trying to get the graduates to apply for a package rather than just a job. And we want them to stay in that job as part of their career development for obviously, a long time, if not permanently, and also to grow with the company as well. So if you're a smaller company and, your part of your strategy is your growth strategy, we want these graduates to know that they can come and work with you and offer their talents and their skills and everything for you. So it's a talent matching service. So accessing skills, building confidence, matching to the right employers. Professional development. So this is what I talked about earlier on in terms of trying to accelerate their progression. So when they start, the package we talked about is we're doing some individual qualifications that are available through the Open University, and we're doing some individual qualifications with USW as well. Now, those qualifications we will work on with you as an employer and the graduate. So after about a month, we'll come back to both of you and we'll say, right, what skills and development areas do you need? If they're in a digital job, it might be that you want them to do some digital development learning. It might be creative writing, but we will work with you to find out what skills the graduate needs and also what skills you need them to develop. So again, this is part of the package we're trying to offer them as well. So the AAA pledge is available, approachable, and adaptable. And that's very much about being able to work with an SME. Zero cost again for the graduates. There's no cost to the graduates. We help them. We do workshops for them in terms of CV writing. Once the role's alive, our graduate team will do an awful lot of workshops around interview skills and the online testing and what to expect and things like that. Caring and professional service. So we promise a positive candidate experience that puts graduate well-being at the heart of the process. So once we know you've offered that graduate a role, we will make contact with them. Just basic congratulations. I'm delighted you've got a role. We'll send them a bit of a time scale. We'll send them a date for an induction. We'll make sure that they know us as a contact point for any problems, and also us as a contact point for this is when you're going to come together as a group. So holistic employment solutions, so helping the graduate kickstart their career while enjoying ongoing development and support. And a lot of graduates we've worked with, we tend to attract graduates within the last 2 years. A lot of the graduates we work with will say to us, this is my first proper job. And they love the fact that this is a proper job and this is part of their career development. So just a few more to go through before we go on to questions. So this is just an employer story. So it's a case study that's on our website. So Nigel Griffiths is a commercial director for Lexington, a recruitment agency, but he's also the chair of our business council. And we were delighted when he came and he used us. And, it's that proof is in the pudding. So just to run through very quickly, because you'll get a copy of this PowerPoint, but what was your business challenge? What was your need at the time that required a new graduate hire? So the business was and has continued to enjoy a sustained period of growth. So the business was growing, they needed more resources, and they felt that a graduate was part of that resource. How did you find the recruitment process and service? And, his answer is great. The process was simple. The key issue was ensuring Venture had a good profile of the kind of candidates we were looking for and the skills required to succeed. We only received relevant and useful candidate applications. So that HR element for you, Nigel and his team are very busy doing their day job. They said to me, this is the type of candidate we're looking for. We did everything from attraction to shortlisting and just handed over the relevant CVs to him. So we weren't wasting his time and he wasn't wasting his own time. And they're saving of management time and easy access to a local candidate pool. And he was quite keen to take on graduates within the local area. So is there anything you would say to other businesses thinking of taking on a graduate through the Venture Graduate Scheme? It is very useful and effective service. It saves time and doesn't cost any money to use it. And then we have a graduate story. So Alex has a human resource management degree, and we asked him for a quote, and all he said was, what I really want to achieve during the scheme is an opportunity to prove my work ethic and commitment to development. I've always been passionate about improving myself, and this scheme has opened many doors. In the space of 3 weeks, I have secured a great job with amazing opportunities, and I have found an employer who values the work and determination of graduates. And Alex doesn't mind us sharing this fact about him, but Alex had very, very low confidence, very low self-esteem, which we talked to him about prior to interviews, and he spoke openly to his employer before the interview. And he's now in a fabulous job, and his employer really values him. And that's one of the reasons why we use Alex's story. So if you want to be part of the roles that are going live on the 18th of July, you can register your interest with us on the website, or you can drop your email and your name, or come back to me now in the Q&A session. But business engagement is ongoing. So if it's something you're thinking, actually, it's not this year, but next recruitment, my next round of recruitment is going to be the next financial year, that's great. We want to be part of your recruitment plan. So, you know, please talk to me about vacancies you have at the moment, but also talk to me about your business plan for the next 2 to 3 years. Our target is to place 500 graduates by March 2024. And, you know, if you can be part of that, then that's fabulous. Okay, so here's our generic email address. Here's our website and socials. And again, Lisa will send out a copy of the presentations for you as well. So I will stop sharing now and stop talking. Apologies for my internet going off, but I was quick coming back on, thank goodness. And if there are any questions, very happy to take some.
There was just one in the chat one that I can see there. I have to go off on the call, so I don't know if it's been covered already. But do you have an expectation of salary for the graduates?
Yeah, brilliant question. So they range between, our salaries range generally between 18,000 and 25,000. It's all about making the role attractive to the salary. So we're going to be advertising some quite specific software developer roles for a company in this round. Now they're advertising between 30 and 35. Now that is quite high for the graduates within our scheme. Our average salaries range around 22,000. The thing with the salaries is, it is about obviously the figure, but it's also about the opportunity. So if your job description says that your starting salary is 21,000, but after 6 months, there's career progression and there's progression within the company, or opportunity after probation, your salary will go up by £1,000, or bonuses. If you're clear within that job description about the opportunities with the salaries, then, you know, the figure isn't just the fact. We try not to go as low as 18,000, if I'm honest, because it is a candidate market. And what we don't want people saying, yes, please, I'll come and work for you for 18,000, and then leaving you 3 months later and finding a job for 2021. The 18,000 ones that we do offer at the moment, and this did come as a bit of a surprise to me, are predominantly law firms where they're taking on people who've just graduated in law and being trainee solicitors, and the companies are actually paying for their training over the course of 2 years. So they're saying, yes, I'm taking you on at 18,000, but actually after 2 years, your salary is going to substantially increase because you're then going to be a qualified solicitor. So we don't say no to people around the salary, but from your own point of view, it's just about making that role attractive to the graduates.
Fabulous. Does anyone else want to come off mics now and ask a question while you've got the chance?
Yeah, I'll fire away. So are you
Hi,
at,
James.
Hi, thanks very much for the presentation.
You're welcome.
Are you guys at like graduate fairs and things like that, next to the
Yes.
BPs of the world, etc., trying to
Yes.
coach them and how, like, to put it, speak candidly, sort of how, not how aggressive, but you know, what's the kind of sell versus like a big blue chip company versus going with you guys?
Yeah, and again, it's a really good question. You know, we're not really competing with anybody, but if someone takes on a graduate, we're delighted. You know, if they take on a graduate through our scheme or through you know, through Admiral or confused.com, that's great. It means that graduate has got a job. What we do is, you know, if someone goes into Admiral, for example, and we work with Admiral and they don't mind us using this, but if someone goes to work with Admiral, you're that small fish in a big pond, aren't you? You know, you're part of a fabulous company, but you are, you know, you're part of, maybe they might take on 25 graduates a year. The attraction with SMEs is you're part of a smaller company, so straight away you're probably sitting next to the marketing director or the owner. Straight away you're involved in conversations about growth and development and opportunities. And Alex works for a security firm in Cardiff, and there's 4 of them within the business, but then their supply chain is massive. So within the company, there's only 4 people in the office, if you like, but the other contacts then that he works with, they're into the hundreds. So it is very much about, we're here to try and help SMEs who can't take a graduate on because they're so busy running around, running their own businesses. They haven't got a HR department. They haven't got time to recruit. They haven't got time to write a job description, never mind anything else. So the attraction with the SMEs is they're a face, they're not a number. And that's no disrespect to anybody else in graduate schemes. They're a face. They're part of the business, they're part of the development, you know, they're straight in, as I say, you know, and it could be a small company based somewhere, or it could be a company with 250 people, but it is that smaller company rather than those large organizations.
Okay, thank you for that. And another thing I was going to ask is, you might have already mentioned this, but how long is the scheme just like in perpetuity, or like?
Yeah, so we're part of Cardiff Capital Region. So we started March 2019. We're funded till March 2024. But the reason we're funded till March is part of the Cardiff Capital Region review. So the CCR is a 1.2 billion project, and obviously every 3 or 4 years it gets audited by the UK government, the Welsh government, and then it's extended. So we've already been extended once, and March 2024 is the next sort of review date rather than anything else. So yeah, March 2024, but I'm 95% that we'll be going after that.
Plenty of time. Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hi Geraldine, it's Andy here.
Hi, Andy.
Thanks for the presentation. Just
You're
a quick
welcome.
question. My company's tiny, but would hopefully be looking to these kind of opportunities maybe in the next few months. But
yeah,
to be honest, after the pandemic, we're going to be a fully remote company. We're not going to have premises.
Okay.
And is that something that's okay? I know some people
Again,
are a bit funny about that.
Absolutely. No, it's absolutely fine as well. It's absolutely fine. Again, how your company works is completely up to you. Yeah, it's okay. Just ignore them. Sorry, I'm being told there's someone at the door. It's this joys of working from home, Andy. It's quite timely, isn't it? No, it's absolutely fine. And again, as long as you make that clear in your job description and your career path, opportunities and part of the role, that's absolutely fine.
Great. Thank you.
Any other questions?
Ooh. No, I think you've covered quite a lot in that presentation there. And, as said, we will get the, if you want a copy of the recording or the slides, and we'll get those out to you. I do barter with those, though. I need your 83 signs and into me before I'll send them out to you. I keep that. I'm the one with the power on that one, so we will get those out. But Geraldine, I'm guessing if they've got any questions that come to them now after this webinar, they can contact you or?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, my email address is there, or just drop me just drop me an email, come back to me straight away, no problem.
Fabulous. So if you think of anything that you wish you'd asked on here, then just drop an email to Geraldine.
Yeah, that's great.
Okay, I don't think there's anything else on there. So thanks very much for giving your time and giving us this presentation to us this morning, Geraldine. Or this afternoon we are now, so I've lost all track of time there. Thanks for bearing with us, everyone, with the technical, as always, some technical issues.
Thank you.
At least we got through those ones, so that's fabulous. Any questions, queries, drop us a line or drop Geraldine a line. And thanks very much for joining us. Go and enjoy your lunch now and enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks very much.
Bye-bye.